So as the new year begins, now is the perfect time to figure out how you want to use credit cards and points in 2024 to get more things like free travel and cash back. So in this video here, I want to show you guys a look into my own updated 2024 credit card strategy with 5 things that I'm focusing on, and hopefully by going over what I'm doing here can sort of help anyone that's watching this video to get some better ideas for their own credit card strategy. Now, before we get into the new stuff, I want to give a quick recap of what happened last year because that's sort of going to help to explain the position that I'm in for this year. So one thing that I really wanted to do in 2023 was get approved for the Capital One Venture X, but like I talked about in some other videos, I actually got denied for that card right at the start of the year, which I try to be very open and transparent about here on this channel so that hopefully anyone else can avoid being denied. And basically what Capital One told me was that I had too many revolving accounts on my credit report, which included a lot of newer accounts as well. Now in January 2023, right after I got denied for the Venture X, I decided to focus my attention on another credit card that I really wanted, which was the Bilt MasterCard, because that card was gonna allow me to earn points on rent. And luckily I did get approved for the Bilt MasterCard, but then after getting approved for that card, what I decided to do was that I was going to stop applying for any other personal credit cards for at least 6 months or so for 2 main reasons. First of all, I wanted to try reapplying for the Venture X later on in 2023, and I thought that having 0 new accounts over a 6-month period would sort of help to increase my approval odds. And then second of all, my fiance Jackie and I had sort of saved up all these credit card points over the past few years, but we didn't really have that much time to redeem and travel because of work. So we made it a big goal last year to focus on traveling and redeeming more of our points, which is the fun part, instead of just focusing on earning them. Now, to give some quick examples of point redemptions that we did last year, for the first trip we did in 2023, Jackie and I went out to San Francisco and Napa Valley in April, where we stayed for a few nights at the Alila Napa Valley Hotel. And that's a top category 8 Hyatt property where we had some amazing views overlooking a vineyard from our balcony. Now, we obviously did not want to pay the $5,400 price for the 3 nights we stayed there, so we used 110,000 of our Chase and Bilt points, which can both be transferred over to Hyatt at a 1-to-1 rate by using my Chase Sapphire Preferred or Bilt MasterCard, and that worked out to be a redemption value of around 4.9 cents per point, which is actually very good for a hotel stay. Later that month in April, I flew down to Austin, Texas to hang out with my friend Spencer Johnson, who a lot of you guys also watch here on YouTube. So we filmed a podcast episode for his Creator Conversation series, which I definitely want to be a guest on again, so comment down below if you want to see a second podcast episode. But for this trip, I got to stay at the Hyatt Regency, which is right down on the river in downtown Austin, and for the 3-night stay there, normally that would have cost me around $1,000. However, I was able to use a free night award certificate along with another 24,000 Chase and Bilt points that I transferred over to Hyatt. For the American Airlines flights that I took to get down to Austin and then back to Philadelphia, I also used some credit card points by transferring over Amex membership rewards points over to British Airways to book my American Airlines flights. So for the $300 economy flight down to Austin, I paid only $5.60 plus 11,000 Amex points, which works out to be roughly 2.7 cents per point. And then for the flight back home to Philadelphia, I booked a first class seat, which normally would have been $890, but I only paid $560 in cash again, plus 22,000 Amex points that I transferred over to British Airways, so that worked out to be a redemption value of around 4 cents per point. I actually did a few more redemptions that were similar to that with my Amex points last year by transferring over to British Airways to book American Airlines flights because I fly mostly American out of my home airport at Philadelphia. So I did fly to some other places last year like Dallas, New Orleans, San Diego, and Jamaica, and some of those flights there I was able to book by finding award availability. I also just have a lot more Amex points right now than any other points currency, and American Express tends to run some transfer bonus promotions of 20 to 30% with British Airways a few times throughout the year, which does help me to save a lot of money when I'm booking these American Airlines flights. And the fact that I have more Amex points right now is actually going to play a part of my 2024 credit card strategy that I'll explain more about in just a bit. Now, even though I have a lot of Amex points saved up, back in May I did come across another offer for the Amex Business Gold Card for another 100,000 points after spending $10,000 in 6 months, which was just too good to pass up. So I decided to apply and I got instantly approved. Now, aside from the nice sign-up bonus, one other feature on the Business Gold Card that made a lot of sense for me is the benefit where if I use the Amex travel portal to book a first class or business class flight with any airline or economy flights with my selected airline of American, then I receive 25% of those points back as a rebate. Basically, for example, when I flew over to San Diego and I couldn't find award availability one way, I was able to book an $800 first class flight for 80,000 points, but I got 25% of those points back as a points rebate, which works out to be 20,000 points. So my net cost was only 60,000 points for that cross-country flight, but unfortunately the points rebate feature is actually going away on the Amex Business Gold as of February 2024 due to some recent changes that Amex decided to make, which is going to impact my 2024 strategy. Now, some other travel that Jackie and I did last year included using 150,000 Chase and Bilt points that again we transferred over to Hyatt to book a 5-night stay at the all-inclusive Hyatt Zilara Rose Hall Resort in Jamaica, which was awesome. And the actual cent per point value here wasn't really that great because it was only maybe around 2 cents per point, but again, it was an all-inclusive resort, so there really wasn't any out-of-pocket cost here for food and drinks, which ended up saving us a ton of money and made the whole experience really cool. We also made our way over to Europe in October to explore Paris and Versailles in France for a few days, followed by Porto and Lisbon over in Portugal for a week. So we flew Air France business class from Newark to Paris and had to transfer only 88,000 Amex points over to Flying Blue to book that thanks to a transfer bonus promotion, and we did have to pay $397 for taxes and fees, but the cash price would have been around $6,800, so that redemption was around 7.3 cents per point, which is definitely great value and very much worth it for the sleep that we got on our red-eye flight over there. We used another 100,000 Chase and Bilt points transferred over to Hyatt to book the Hyatt Paris Madeleine Hotel that was in a great location where we could walk to pretty much all the big tourist spots. And then in Portugal, we also were able to cut the cost of one of our hotels almost in half by booking through the Amex travel portal, where I was able to use a $200 hotel credit for my Amex Platinum card. Now, outside of the travel and point redemptions we did in 2023, we also added some other cards to our two-player strategy. So in August, I tried applying again for the Venture X and got denied for a second time, which was definitely not cool, Capital One. But Jackie applied after that and instantly got approved, so I guess it's all good now, and we have the Venture X as a part of our setup. And then I went ahead and added an American Airlines Platinum Select business credit card from Citi, which gave us a nice 60,000 mile sign-up bonus and now comes with a free check bag benefit as well. I finished up the year in November being down to 424, which basically meant that I was now eligible to get approved for Chase credit cards once again because I was under the Chase 524 rule. So I decided to complete the Inc. trifecta of Chase business credit cards by getting approved for the Inc. business preferred card because of the 100,000 point offer they have going on after spending $8,000 in 3 months. Now, that leads me right into the first of 5 things that Jackie and I are focusing on with our new 2024 credit card strategy, and that first thing is going to be earning more Chase and Bilt points. Now, I know that everyone online seems to think that I'm a big Chase fanboy, and maybe I am, but when you look at the ways that we like to redeem our points and miles from some of those examples over the past year, you can clearly see that we love to redeem for Hyatt stays whenever possible, and only Chase and Bilt points are going to allow us to transfer over to Hyatt, which is why I'm always a big fan of including those cards in our strategy. So our simple plan right now is to basically use our Chase and Bilt points for hotel stays, and then use Amex points and Capital One miles we have for flights because there's a lot of great airline transfer partners with those points currencies. To us, Hyatt has by far been the best program out there for getting easy, consistent, outsized value with our points compared to the other hotel brands based on where we've traveled to lately. Plus, we've actually used up a lot of our combined Chase and Bilt points on Hyatt stays over the past year, so we definitely want to focus on rebuilding those balances for 2024 and 2025. And I was also able to get top tier Hyatt Globalist status through February of 2025 thanks to a Bilt promotion they ran last year. So now with the potential upgrades from that, our points that we redeemed through Hyatt have even more potential value than we did over the past year. Now, Bilt points are sort of slow to earn because the Bilt MasterCard is mostly used in our setup to earn 1x on rent, and our rent actually is going up very soon because we are going to be moving, so our new rent with some other spending is probably going to earn us somewhere around 40,000 Bilt points in 2024. For earning more Chase points, we've basically got 3 ways of doing that to start the new year because first of all, I'm finishing up right now that sign up bonus for 100,000 points on the Inc. preferred card that we just talked about. Second of all, Jackie just got the Chase Freedom Unlimited with an offer of 20,000 points plus 5x on gas and groceries for the first year, so that card is going to be our dedicated gas and grocery card in 2024 to earn a ton of points there. And then third of all, I plan to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve and hopefully at least 60,000 points from the sign-up bonus over on that card. And getting a Chase Sapphire Reserve is actually going to be the second part of our updated strategy. Now, I've actually had the Sapphire Preferred since the fall of 2019, and that card has been great with the access it gives us to the Chase transfer partners like Hyatt. But now that Philadelphia International is opening up a massive new Chase Sapphire Lounge that I want to have access to, I'm going to have to get the Sapphire Reserve card for that. And because I'm past the 48-month time frame since my last Sapphire card bonus, that means it's actually perfect timing right now for me to go ahead and get a new Sapphire bonus with the CSR. So to do that, first I'm gonna have to go ahead and downgrade my current Sapphire Preferred card to another one like the Freedom Flex, which I plan to do in early 2024. And the reason for that is because in order to be eligible for a Sapphire card bonus, it must be over 48 months since your last bonus, and you can only hold up to 1 Sapphire card at a time, which means I need to downgrade. And even though I already have a Freedom Flex card, right now I'm actually gonna be able to have more than one of those cards if I downgrade like this, thanks to the rules in place. Now, once I downgrade my Sapphire Preferred, I'll probably wait just a few months before applying for the Sapphire Reserve because I don't know when the Philly Chase Lounge is gonna open. And I also want to wait and see if Chase does give us a limited time elevated bonus on the Reserve, which I'm predicting they will. So that's gonna be one of my predictions to respond to Luke's Points and Miles asking for our credit card predictions for 2024. And I have absolutely no proof that Chase is gonna do anything like that, but they do tend to do elevated bonuses on the Sapphire Preferred. So I feel like the Reserve is overdue for some excitement to bring in some new customers as a few of those lounges start to open up across the US over the next year. Also, because I now have the Chase Ink Preferred card, which has the same transfer partners as those Sapphire cards, I'm still gonna be able to transfer to those partners even during the few months after I downgrade my Sapphire Preferred and before I apply for the Reserve. So I'll still be able to transfer over to Hyatt during that time. And yeah, so far everything is working out pretty well timing wise, but hopefully Chase does not pull a Capital One and just deny me for their top travel credit card. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated over the next year. Now, the third key thing that I'm focusing on in 2024 with credit cards is that I plan to either product change away from that new Amex Business Gold card that I just got last year, or at the very least, I plan to ask for a retention offer to see if they're gonna give me some extra points to justify the annual fee increase from $295 to $375, along with the fact that that 25% points rebate feature is going away on that card. I'm just not a fan of the changes that Amex made when they decided to bump up the annual fee by $80 because I'm not really gonna use any of the credits for FedEx, Grubhub, or office supply stores, or the credits for Walmart Plus. So when my new annual fee comes up at renewal in May 2024, I'll just go ahead and chat with customer service and ask for a retention offer. If they can't offer anything, then I might also just close down the card, or I might consider changing over to the Amex Business Platinum card. Now, that card has a higher annual fee of $695, but some of the credits should be easier for me to get value from, and the Business Platinum card also has a 35% points rebate feature, which so far is not going away. So this part of the 2024 credit card plan is still sort of just up in the air as to what exactly I'm gonna do, which is why I'll basically just reevaluate everything in May. Now, the fourth thing that we're gonna be focusing on with our 2024 plan is gonna be to look out for new offers. So like I said, we'll be putting a lot of spend on Jackie's new Freedom Unlimited for gas and groceries, and then hopefully we'll be able to add the Sapphire Reserve card as well. But outside of that, things have been pretty quiet with new credit cards and new offers, so my second prediction is that 2024 is gonna be a year that is a lot more exciting in the credit card game. Now look, I'm sorry if the credit card content for myself or really any other creators out there ever seems repetitive to some people, but I am trying to shake things up with my content and try out new formats and new topics. But the truth is, there really just wasn't that much big news in 2023, and as creators, we still want to keep putting out content, so we try to figure out how to do that the best we can. So if there's more excitement around maybe new cards from Wells Fargo, new offers on Chase cards, or maybe even some changes to certain Amex cards, which I also think is a possibility, then Jackie and I are going to be ready to take advantage of that stuff. I just want to get my Sapphire Reserve card first, which is going to put me at 524, and then after that, I'll be open to both personal and business credit cards from really any issuer out there if there's something interesting. And at the end of the day, to get the most value with the least amount of spend in the credit card game, you always got to be focusing on new sign-up bonuses, so I am hoping there's going to be some good new offers available in 2024. Now, if I'm completely wrong and there's nothing new, or there's just new stuff that is not right for us, then the fifth thing that Jackie and I are going to be doing with our 2024 strategy is just to continue optimizing our core setup for earning, and then also to continue finding good ways to redeem what we earn for travel. If I go through our monthly budget here just off the top of my head, our biggest expense is rent, which we use the Built MasterCard for. We then have stuff like groceries, which we're just going to use Jackie's new Freedom Unlimited card to earn 5x on for the first year. And then for stuff like travel and miscellaneous, those are some of the other highest categories where we're just going to use a mix of the Amex Platinum, Capital One Venture X, and even that Chase Freedom Unlimited card for miscellaneous stuff. Again, because we're focusing on accumulating more Chase points right now for Hyatt transfers, we're probably going to favor Chase just a little bit more on some of that miscellaneous spending, but we do have a lot of great options in our current setup for pretty much every spending category we can think of. So again, we're pretty well optimized right now. We're firmly on team travel right now and not team cashback because we truly view credit cards as a powerful financial tool that we can leverage to not only build credit, but also to save tens of thousands of dollars on stuff like flights and hotels because we love to travel and spend money on travel. But we're also really into personal finance and budgeting, and we want to continue investing and saving for retirement as well. So by using the right credit cards and being strategic with how we choose to redeem our points and miles, we've been able to do some awesome travel at a fraction of the cost that we otherwise would have to pay. So if you want to hear more about our two-player credit card strategy and how we've already been able to redeem our points for over $27,000 worth of travel, then go ahead and check out this video over here on the screen next. But as always, thank you so much for watching.